Do you remember your password this time?
It was pre-logged in, okay?
That's not a no or a yes.
I mean, I'm not gonna announce that, actually.
Good idea.
Thanks.
Interesting. So she only got a handful of passwords. Is that Grenader Jake doing a beer commercial on Twitch?
Yeah. He did it was a Miller Lite or something, and they like partnered with Twitch, and he's giving like some revenue towards his mods.
Cool. Okie dokie. So, welcome back to M&A&D&D episode. I forgot.
53. Nope.
54.
Yes, 54.
The Sound of Doom.
Oh, come on, man.
Previously, you guys had made it back to Waters Deep by invitation of the High Council, who decided to put into action this retaliation or to seek out the cult of the dragons, as their movements and stuff throughout the Sword Coast have now become more and more out in the open and more intense. And you all made big waves when you took over the Sky Castle. So you were requested to come in and help. At the High Castle, or at the High Council, you guys were introduced to some familiar allies and some new ones. One of them being Astrid, who is a member of the Harpers as well. You all had something in common, and that was a quest for an individual who had been buying and selling very, very rare items throughout the Sword Coast, and it seems throughout different planes of existence, with some help from others. But this individual probably he pissed off the wrong people, including your new member, Astrid, who he stole some armor from and some other material. You guys were able to infiltrate his hideout and work your way to his inner sanctum via some very different and challenging rooms. Once there, you opted to take him out along with his son, quote unquote son, and made off with some of his more valuable possessions. Unfortunately, as you guys were exiting, the realm in which his base was built, or his hideout was built, seemed to collapse upon itself. And as you exited, you find yourselves like a couple miles away from where you had began, outside of the city walls. His body laying not too far from you as you guys find yourself picking up from there.
Wait, we got teleported out and his body's there still?
I believe I made a point to saying you guys are standing over his body or something like that.
Oh, I thought we were standing over the pile of things that we pulled from the...
Yeah, let's go with that.
Wait, no. Is there a body? Sorry.
Yeah, I was very confused because I thought we like opened the chest, grabbed what we could, and then like we got ported out, and it was just like us and the things we got out with.
Yeah, sure. That.
Okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page.
I went back to make sure to see what I had said, and I said you guys were standing over his body, and then
okay,
like,
then we're standing over his body. Then
no, I don't care. I can change it. I'm just saying if I didn't say it, then you guys would have been like, "Hey, I thought he was there. So I'm just trying to cover
Oh.
my bases. I don't. There's no narrative reason why either one. So
Okay.
I chopped up his
it
head.
doesn't
And
matter.
it's still there.
I guess I just misunderstood.
You already chopped it off.
Oh,
And then you
Fuck.
left it behind.
is his head with his body?
There is no body. It's just a bunch of loot, apparently.
All right. Well,
I'm
since
okay with it.
since DW is currently
I'll put
rubbing
it
his
on this
face in his new cloak or his new cape, and it
it
seems
smells
very
like
distracted.
brimstone.
What else is in the loot pile? Like Astrid's over there pouring molten
Smells like a fart.
liquid, molten metal
Bronze.
on herself, and DW is just like rubbing his face on a cape and farting
Now-
all over the place.
No, that
Astrid-
wasn't me. That was the cape.
Astrid
It
did
just smells like this.
roll a nat 20 on her
Astrid, I also
search.
want my boots back, please.
Oh, yeah.
Here's your boots.
Here you go.
All right. Just want to cover that too before we got too far.
You should maybe stuff some dried herbs in there. They smell a little funky.
Well, with given my new cape, I'm not sure my boots are the least of my worries.
We tried that. No herb on this given earth can help his feet. That's
Have you
just,
tried a different plant's herb?
I don't know, but
I'm
we tried
not the
before.
stinky one in this group, thank you.
You are now.
That's debatable. That's definitely debatable.
Darferis is definitely was worse, and Ulan as well.
Well,
So the
the
nat
is
20
here,
that she
is
rolled?
you,
Yeah.
so you're it.
I've seen also what you eat. You're not really that one to talk. What else do you got over there?
With my nat 20, what else do I have over here?
Did you mean to send that to the entire group?
It doesn't matter. We don't know what to refer to.
Yeah, I don't know why I cut it into 2 pieces.
Okay.
Did you send something over roll 20? Because mine's being a jerk. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
It just, everything refreshed all at once. Alright, so I have this metal tube,
Okay.
and
So these
Well,
are
I
2
don't
different
have-
items.
okay, so I don't have any way to identify other than like it's a metal tube.
If
Would
you
I,
know
like,
what it-
can
if you
I
know what it
literally
is,
just
you
be like,
Here's the
It's
thing.
this.
You were the runner
Mhm.
for this for so long. You're gonna kind of be able to do this.
okay, that works. I can do that. So I have this metal tube, and I've seen these before. If you see a locker latch on any object, you can strike it and make sure that it makes a chiming noise, and it should open the latch. So really easy, really nice if you don't have a way to pick a lock.
Okay.
And then I have, let's see, this ring here. And sorry, I'm reading and processing. You can attack anything around you within 60 feet. And once you expend one of the charges, it produces a ram's head that will attack anyone you choose within 60 feet. And it has 3 charges and recharges at dawn.
That's an interesting
Yeah.
item.
1, 2, 3. And then we have your armor. Didn't you grab something else?
Yeah.
Because
And then I have
my
a
cape. We have that ring.
My armor.
We have this tube of something that sounds like knock, and your armor. So there's one more thing, right? Where is that?
Yes.
Okay.
And it is this iron rod right here. And it has a button. And actually, anybody want to stand right here for me for a second?
I push Valen forward.
Roll a strength check.
Unexpectedly.
Yeah, I can I just not just do this without? Fine.
Fine, let him have it. Let him have it.
No, yeah.
Okay, so
No, I just because it's funny because I'm like everybody's mostly stronger than him and me. I just wanted to see what would happen. Like I feel like if I try to push somebody, I'd be like me pushing a wall. Like, oh
Do I need to roll a strength check against this, Milo, or no?
no.
no.
All right, Phelan, do you have a cloak on?
I do have a regular cloak for traveling. Why do you ask?
I'll set the flat iron rod down on the end of this cloak so it kind of pins it against the ground and then hit the button.
Okay.
Now try to move.
I'm not moving. So when do I hit the bottom?
No,
no,
so you're literally pinned down. It's a
Try to walk
immovable
away
rod.
with your cloak.
Just
Oh.
Astrid, why don't you push him now? Because you're really strong.
All right, I'll push him. Not too hard though, because he did.
Then immediately I feel this like strong tug on my neck because my cloak is just not.
It's
budging
wedged into the
anything.
ground.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
wedged into the ground. I was like, what the hell is that thing?
Astrid, you
Um,
probably could have done that by like just like clicking it in the air and start doing pull-ups in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I didn't want to show off too much.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'll
What's in-
I'll hit
what-
the button and pick
what-
the rod up.
What's the purpose of this item?
Whatever. I mean, you have a really cool rod that you can't move. There's so many uses for that, bud.
Mm-hmm.
It's just matters how large of an imagination you have.
Okay.
How many situations were you falling? Would you like to like not be falling in that moment, or
Don't know.
Can I?
I don't
do
know.
need to
I
roll-
almost always landed on my feet when I jump up the building.
I
So
quit?
That's true. He's pretty good at that. Do I need to roll? I'd like to look at the two bags that were brought out. Would I need to roll to see if they're both bags of holding, or do you want me to roll to see like do I know what they both are, or if they're both the same thing? To like investigate what they are.
Yeah, investigate.
Okay.
Are you gonna try to see what's in them?
Not yet, because if it is a bag of holding, I know at least that like I can turn it inside out to spill all of its contents, but I don't want to do that in the middle of the streets. But I want to make sure like are they both bags of holding or are they
you
something
recognize
else?
one to be very, very, very much like your bag of holding that you had looked at earlier, or that you had previously.
Yeah.
The other one is slightly different, but you don't know if it's just because it's made somewhere else.
Okay. I'll
Can I do an investigation too? If or would Val ask me to look at it too, or no?
I mean, at this point, I'd be like, hey guys, this one I can tell is pretty much a bag of holding, and if you're okay with that, I'd hold on to this again and start using it like we used our older one. But I don't. This one's similar, at least
I'll look
in
at it.
design, but like I don't know what it is or what it does, and I'll hand it over to him.
15.
Yeah. So as you're taking a closer look at it, did that show up on your screens?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my
I'll read it out
gosh.
loud. This is a bag of tricks. Use one bag of. Use one bag of tricks. 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 Use one bag of Use one bag of holding.
Oh, those are fun.
I like this.
I don't want it, but it's fun.
A bag. I'll take it.
I'll if you guys are
There's
okay
a-
with this, I'll just take the bag of holding, and you guys can figure out what else you want to divvy out for everything else. I'm good.
Do we know what color it is?
Anybody notice? Anybody notice? There's dire wolf. There's a chance you can pull off dire wolf from that bag.
It's based on
Yeah,
the color of
depending
it.
on the color of the bag. Yeah, I mean, well, it's literally physically the color of the bag. So if you just look at it, you would know what
Right. Which color is it?
material it's made out of. So it just depends on what Viva lets us know we have.
And if you don't know which one it is, Viva, you can just roll a d3.
Let's find out.
Once 3 fuzzy objects have been pulled. I like the last line.
Oh,
All right.
we
so
have giant hyena out of the number 3. I'll take that. I'll take that over dire wolf.
What is an axe?
Wait,
Man.
why D3?
There's
Because
three
there's 3
types.
options.
There's gray, rust, and tan.
And hang.
And 10.
And so you rolled a 3, so we just went down the list to the
Okay,
third
so
option.
jackal, a baboon, axe bear, black bear, giant weasel, giant hyena, and a
Axe
tiger.
beak.
Axbeak. It's a bird.
Oh, axe beak.
If it was an
Bird.
axe bear, that'd be interesting.
Right? I was like, axe
It
bear.
looks,
No, you-
sounds
no,
like
at that
sounds
point you
like a
just
bird of
pull,
dodo bird.
You just pull who was the guest from campaign 1 who was a werebear.
Yeah.
I forgot what her name was. I keep thinking Keg, but Keg is very different.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys have this tan.
Alrighty.
Tan.
Well, so
Do
I'm
we
gonna spend
know-
the rest of the time
Sorry.
saying, "Hey, like Astrid, you look pretty banged the fuck up. I'm tired as shit. I'm assuming everyone else is pretty tired and
See.
beat up. We should probably soon take some time to rest. But like, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time trying to like reorganize our stuff and put everything back into like the new bag, and then I'll let you guys know now. I'm planning to eventually turn this one inside out to see if there's anything else in here." Other than stuff that we already know of, but for now, I'm just gonna store our stuff so that we can get out of the road.
Right, we're in the road right now.
Yeah.
We know. And
Is
based
there
on what-
anybody around?
You guys are on like up here on the north side where you had entered once before, so there are lots of guards, and it's like a high road where people are entering. But as you guys kind of start to take stock, there's a sudden shift in the wind, brings with it a strange sense of unease. The feeling is akin to a drop in air pressure before the approach of a deadly storm, or faint tremors felt from a landslide or earthquake far away. Not the only ones who've noticed. The city and the people around you go unnaturally quiet suddenly. There's no dog barks, no birds squawk. Even the street vendors go silent. And it only lasts for a moment before you start to hear as this sounds of the city start to kind of pick up again, and people like are hushedly murmuring to themselves, and the guards are looking around, standing at attention.
Can I make a survival check to see if I can ascertain like what direction it came from, if there's any like if I can get any other information from it, or does that, do you think like I have a good enough understanding based on that?
You can try. You can roll.
Like
Well,
I
I'm
don't
not-
know, like did it feel like it came from like a specific direction? I'll ask that. That's my
This
question.
is the this like it felt like an earthquake, so it's not coming from a direction. Although it feels like if you had to determine, it's sweeping from the east to the west as it kind of rippled out towards the sea. But it's like that. It's too big of a thing to have maybe.
Okay.
It's
Thank
much too big of a thing. And as you're trying to get your sense of it, the bells of Waterdeep just start sounding. Gong, gong, gong. And all of the guards start running to the gates.
Along that same line, in that moment, may I also try something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try and use Divine Sense.
That gives you a range of 60 feet.
But like, if as the wave hit me, would I?
You get you get this chill up your spine.
Okay.
Evil's afoot, but it's nowhere near you.
Did
Okay.
the audio just cut out for everybody else, or was it just me?
The audio?
Just making the joke about what we just heard or didn't hear.
Nice. Are we in a simulation?
Did
No.
you guys hear that or not hear that?
Sure.
Meanwhile, the bells of Waterdeep are almost deafening as they just continue to gong. Gong.
Let's get into town
What?
and
Yeah.
go see the High Council now.
Okay.
They probably have
Yeah.
a place for us to stay again. If not, we can find someplace else in town. But
Wait, that's what worry you guys? Don't you guys want to find out exactly what happened?
yeah, and
The
the High
town is-
Council is probably the most like connected place right now that we can easily get access to and safety. So let's go there.
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
we're all insanely
we have-
beat up, so
yeah.
like we need to get to somewhere where we can actually have
Yeah,
some
we
sort
just
of
survived
Yep.
a shit show
Let's
of
go.
a heist. So let's
No.
let's go.
Yeah.
someplace
I need
where
to
we can
report
group.
back. So.
I say as we walk and talk on our way over, I would say figure out who wants to hold on to like the chime of opening and the ring of the ram.
And
If you guys want
also the full rod.
Wait, what happened?
They're trying to divvy up magical
Yeah.
items while you guys are walking. As you guys approach the front gate, their
I don't
hackles
need
are
the
up.
tube of knock. So someone else who's not good at
The-
picking
The
things.
two.
It's the
sorry,
chime
chime
of
of opening. I wrote down a different name when I didn't know what it was.
Oh,
I
Very
called
good.
it tube
gave
of knock.
very vague descriptions.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. Do any of these require attunement?
Uh,
I would assume the ring does. I don't think the rod does, and I don't know about the
the
chime.
rod doesn't. The chime does.
Okay, so someone who isn't good at picking locks.
No, the chime doesn't. The ring does.
Oh, sorry.
The cape doesn't seem to.
It does not.
Nope.
The
It's a
rod does
once
not, and Bag of Tricks does not.
Okay, so only the ring needs to be attuned.
Yeah, I'm full on attunement slots. I also do not need. I don't have a need for that item.
I am not full on attunement slots, but I don't have an immediate need for it.
All right. Well, let's just if we don't need to worry about it right now, then let's not worry about it right now. And not spend any more.
I'm just saying while we walk, we can kind of like divvy these things out rather than just like have them and never talk about it again. So let's divvy it out real quick. So, I think someone should get the chime of opening. Who? So in case I'm not with you, I do have a question to the DM because it was not in the description. My first guess based on the descriptor of it was that it was casting knock, but based on the descriptor of it, it's just 10 uses of something that it makes a chime noise, but it's not the sound. It's not casting the spell knock. Do you know the spell knock? I think it's
Okay.
the third or fourth spell. The spell knock makes a loud noise that's audible anywhere in the like vicinity, but that doesn't sound like that's what this is. Is that correct? This is audible, but it's not like it's like super.
Yeah,
like,
no,
waking
it's
everyone else
not.
aware. Okay.
Using its.
Okay, so it's not casting knock.
Sounds like
So-
it's the same general
It's the same
idea
general, but
is
there's
not.
but there's still
And you
the
guys
nice-
should be able to see this all now in
we can.
the journal.
Yeah.
So, like, it will tell you all that information.
So I think this would go to someone who like, in case I really like fuck up a picking.
Again,
something.
you guys probably shouldn't be talking about this as like the bells are going off. You guys are standing on the road,
Well,
I know.
we would say we were walking
Discussing.
and.
but you're not.
No, we're heading toward the council. Just head to the council.
All right, fine. We won't divvy this out now. We'll divvy it out later. We go to the council.
Well, you guys were stopped at the guards thing, but you guys are.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we have
Does
to
any-
actually get in.
Do we still have that letter from before? I don't think they took it.
Can
from
I
us.
just?
You can. You are very well known now, or at least you're carrying identification that recognizes you as a Harper. So you're.
I mean, I still have my insignia if I need to use it. Just to help us get through the gates a little bit quicker.
Yeah, so they stop you. One of the guards is just kind of gruff, and I'm not sure we can let you pass just yet. There's seems to be some emergency inside.
Yeah, we have noticed the commotion and we're heading towards the High Council to report back on our findings and, provide support where needed.
Do you have proof that you're with the High Council? I'm sorry, the bells chime. Normally we don't.
I'll show
For
my
everyone's
insignia
safety.
and pull out the letter and say, we're working with Ramilla on assignment and I'm returning to report back. And I should still have the letter that originally summoned us here.
Do any of the guards look familiar from last time we were here?
No, but he's looking over the letter. Although this looks to be legitimate, I do wonder why they would send such a low member Harper out.
I'm
As he
currently
looks at
not out
as
on
he
my
looks at-
own. And
As he looks at your
He's with me.
insignia.
I'll flash
Oh.
my Harper.
Thank you.
seeing all the pageantry of your Harper seal right away, and he lets
Damn.
you in.
Just
Thank
remember, kids, the DM needs to make sure that I am put in my place.
Well, we're rolling with somebody that's pretty established.
It's true.
All right. I'm beelining it to
Okay.
where I need to go.
You guys are headed back in, and you're going directly towards the castle. You guys see lots and lots of guards running about as these bells continue to toll, and there's just kind of like whispers amongst the people running throughout the city.
I have my hood up, so trying to not be as noticeable as before.
I have a question about that, and this might be a little meta. So your cape is now just completely stark red.
I mean, that's what the picture looks like. I would like it to not be bright red.
Okay. All right. I didn't know.
I think we didn't have a chance to describe it, but it was like a canary yellow robe that she picked up, bright as the sun.
I didn't. I don't think that's what it was. I'm pretty sure it just smelled like brimstone.
Brimstone. Anyways, as you guys continue, you put your hood up, but also so much commotion is going on, and these bells are intoxicating that no one's necessarily looking at you guys, and you have some sense of anonymity as you rush towards the castle.
As we go that way, is there a general direction in which all the guards are running, or is it just like a chaotic scramble.
It's there are more than enough that are running towards in the same direction as you, but every once in a while you see them like kind of like point in directions, and you can assume that they're maybe going out towards like to hold pinpoints or to maybe go to other exits in the walls and
Mhm.
stuff, like more strategic things as they're
Got
trying to
it.
like what you would assume is like gain kind of control of the city and assess the situation.
Okay.
And again, and so as you guys kind of follow along and you pick up a nice like little jaunts to go with them, you just kind of hear all these murmurings and like whispers from the people that you pass by. And you guys approach the High Council. You do get stopped a little bit, but it's very shortly as Ashton realizes as long as she shows her credentials, they kind of just give you away and usher you into the Great Hall.
Yep, important people coming through.
As you guys go ahead.
No, you're good. Continue. I was gonna ask something, but it's not relevant.
As you make your way into the chamber of the High Council, the guards stop out just outside the door and let you in. And inside, you see the very familiar members that you had run into earlier. In the middle of the table sits a woman with her hands in her head in her hands. You see Alder Ravengard with his standing behind her with his hands on her shoulder. King Meldrick standing at her side with holding on to the table, leaning in and discussing her. He looks to be consoling her. Ramilla looks at you and walks over very briskly. Timing could not be better.
Who died?
Oh,
Larel's husband was murdered. Seems as though the dragon cultists.
Terry slowly after my bad joke. Okay, there he is. He's back. He said L'Oreal's husband was killed.
Seems as though that they crept into his chambers at night and murdered him.
Is there
No
any
longer-
evidence?
do we have any suspects? Is there any evidence left or any?
Well, there's some slain cult members. Unfortunately, there were none taken alive.
Mm.
Before they had a chance, I heard one coward before he had a chance to be captured bit down on a poison bottle and made sure that he was never going to be held accountable.
And this was clearly the work of the cult of the dragon.
We have 3 dead cult members in his chamber.
Okay.
Laral is, as you can imagine. But we can no longer wait any longer. We need to start moving on the cultists.
I'm gonna do a insight check to see if anyone actually doesn't look like they're mourning this. I don't know shit.
You want to see if there anybody suspicious enough to?
Yeah, I'm just gonna look around the chamber and see.
No,
I was trying to get a read of the room.
See, here's the thing. I'd agree in this instance because we're in a place of high council where the security should be tightened up that people don't get to slip in that easily. So I actually am I'm
that
suspicious
was
that there
my
might be
thought,
something.
but my roll was shit.
I will roll inside as well.
You
Sorry,
take stock of
I have my.
this. This the members of the around the table. Rumilla standing in front of you. You're a little uneasy. You get the Alder and King Maldrich are clearly there to consoling this now widowed member of the High Council. Sir Jessival and Never member Bronville seem to be at the other end of the table in like kind of heavy discussion.
Mhm.
Unthar at one side of the table just seems to be kind of like taken aback and shocked. And then the final person you draw your eyes is Witherhound, and he's looking back at you.
So he noticed. So he noticed me are surveying the people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hmm. All right. So I'll initiate a conversation. So,
With who?
with the, well, I will be addressing to the council. So the council's wish is for us to start moving on to the cultists. But what is your plan exactly? To where and how do you plan to strike?
Lariel looks up for the first time since you've entered, and she stands up. I want them all dead. I swear that no cultists in the Sword Course will survive after what they've done. You may all debate on which is the next step, whether we head north or go for the dragon masks, but I tell you now, every cultist from here on out must be murdered.
Can I roll a sleight of hand to quickly try and take the dragon mask off and put it in the bag?
Yeah.
Well, they know who you are, so
He's still
They know
doing
who
it.
I am. I kind of forgot that I'm more than likely just walking around with the dragon mask on at this point. Oh, that was close to a 20.
So you just kind of like bury your own head in your hand and then slip it off. To your understanding, that was very smooth.
in there.
No, but the thing, but okay. So after listening to what L'Oreal had to say, I responded by saying that, my dear lady, I understand your grief. This unexpected death of any member of the High Council is tremendous loss to the Waterdeep, and under, please understand, we know the urgency of this, but from our experience, we know the dragon cultists are vast in their organization and deep in their resources. So without setting a battle plan and actually knowing where to start, I'm afraid we are only delaying your reward of the vengeance upon your husband's death. So this is why I'm asking anybody from the High Council member, whatever information you may have, and anybody have a plan that you think might work for striking a crippling blow of the cultists, please share with us.
Basically, all we need is a lead.
Well,
I have two questions.
All right.
One, what time of day is it? Is it like the morning? Are we just like this happened overnight? Or are we like wandering in at noon?
This is like mid-morning.
Okay.
Yes,
And
it
then
did happen overnight.
okay. And then second question is actually in has the scene of the assassination been disturbed? Like other than people going in and out, like could you still theoretically go up there and look?
You wouldn't be able to ask me that.
I think she's
Okay.
asking that in game is what she's
Asking in
asking.
game, sorry.
You
I'm
could
asking
do-
Ramilla in game.
Oh, you're asking Ramilla?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems as though he was never as keen for the pomp and frills that bestow his title, and so on his very stubborn insistence, he stayed outside of the castle. I don't know if his room has been disturbed. It hasn't come up, but if you feel the need to see the room, I can get you in there.
I think that's the best course of action. If we're gonna find a lead, it's gonna be there.
Yeah, and also investigate how they got in.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know if?
Well, I mean, at this point, it was outside of the castle, so I mean, that would be significantly easier than trying to get in.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, did they have help from inside, or
Mm-hmm.
like, did they break their way in? Like, yeah, the people immediately that did the deed are no longer available to be interrogated. But to follow up with what you're saying, to see the scene, maybe we can uncover if there was someone, there was like an inside source, inside person, and if we can find that person, one, you don't want to keep them around. Two,
Mm-hmm.
they might lead us to, um, ultimately find and get justice.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like any cultists that got caught either were killed or died by their own hand. That doesn't mean that they're all gone.
Right.
Only the ones that got caught are dead.
I would like to point out once again that while it's good to gather information and formulate a plan, I still would caution about immediately heading out at this moment, since we need to at least see a healer of some kind.
At this point, L'Oreal stands up again, and she motions to the other council members around her to sit. What you have heard, or what you have not heard, that disturbance that's been sensed across the Sword Coast, that is the Drakenhorn. I've heard many tales of it. It's an ancient device whose sounding alerts dragons across Faerun that great events are unfolding. It's impossible to say what the sound means, but the dragons hear it clearly and will eventually answer its call.
So it's like a dog call, but for dragons.
Yes? Sounds like it.
So, am I to suggest that Council's plan is to lure the dragon and deal with the dragon directly?
I think
Is
that
that-
the idea was that that sound, or that what we just experienced outside was thought to be the dragon horn.
Okay.
Is my understanding correct?
Yes, the thing that you guys sensed was the Drakenhorn.
Oh, dragon horn. Sorry.
Damn,
I can
I
see
was
why you.
close to
I can
spelling
see
it.
why you. I can see why you got that though. Now, from where I stand, I think we need to head up north. The Drakenhorn, we believe, was last seen on the Sea of Moving Ice. And I know some of you believe that going after Verum the White is the right answer. But they have the wearers of the masks very well protected at this point. Directly attacking one may be the wrong move. And the rest of you have
Then-
mentioned that you're going to send couriers to all parts of the Sword Coast to gather an army, and I think that's very important as well. We need to decide who's going where. What's our first attack?
If I may, who of the remaining generals, the possessors of the dragon masks, who most likely organizes and strategizes for them? Because if we can go after the one who's planning and plotting and organizing and take them out, then it might likely be easier to take out the others when they are disorganized. And if I had to guess, it would be the owner of the blue dragon mask for their cunning and intellect.
Why do you say blue dragon for cunning and intellect? Sorry.
Based on dragon, like
Lore.
my understanding of dragons, blue are intelligent, green are cunning and tricky. Red are ferocious and powerful, white are beast-like and powerful. Is my understanding of it. If I'm completely wrong, that's fine.
Who are you guys asking this to?
No, we're just talking out loud.
Okay.
So this would be just to the council in general.
Well,
Or do we only have knowledge and information on Varen at this moment?
Ramilla speaks up. Well, we've sent out many of our Harper's Focus on the cult activities. Verum is we can confirm a white worm speaker. We've yet to uncover another. We had tracked down a black one, but alas, he slipped away from us. She kind of gives you a glance.
Oh, so Varen is the white is actually the person with the mask, not a dragon.
Yeah,
Yes,
Verum.
the white, the black. So it was Talus, or not Talus. It was Rezimir the black, Varen the white, and then whomever else. I don't
Talus
know.
was a color, wasn't it? Talus was the white.
Was it? I don't know.
Talus the white, I think it was.
We can assure you, though, he is the white worm speaker.
No, that's fine. I'm just trying to think back. I'm talking out loud, just no, to
Okay.
like outside the game, not.
If we have no information and no leads on any others,
Yeah,
then
Talus the white.
we should focus our efforts on the one that we have information on and know the whereabouts of first.
I still think, and this is a gruffly man from the end of the table, that we stop the sounding of the Drakenhorn. If it is attempts to rile up and raise the hackles of all the dragons throughout the land, it seems far more likely that we need to destroy that, shut off that piece of communication that stretches throughout the entire land before we're overwhelmed with dragons.
I don't.
We could fight one. We could fight as many cultists as we want, but an army of dragons, they'll be the end of us, surely.
But so, can I ask a question to the council? We have a good idea of where the Dragonhorn is, right? You said it was to the ice. It was the ice something or another.
It's among the sea of the moving ice.
So it's among the sea of that moving ice. And DM on the map, is that north, east, southwest? Where is that relation to?
That's going to be north.
Okay. So if that's to the north of us, is there perchance a reason that they are? I see two things that this could be. They're using that to gather strength, or they're using that to be a distraction. I don't disagree that it needs to be taken care of. I just want to keep the eye on the ball of why.
King Maldrick looks at you and just leans across the table. There's no distractions here. They've made their moves. They're out in the open. The intentions are clear. They're gathering an army of dragons. The Dragonhorn will do what it does, what it was intended to do. Rally the dragons to a cause. It's undeniable. Less a distraction and more a statement. Both things need to be taken care of. We all must decide which is the first.
I have a question then, to hopefully help with making this decision. The Dragonhorn is a magical artifact, correct?
One would assume its ability to stretch this many thousands of miles, hundreds of miles.
Then my question is do we have a plan? Do we have means in order to destroy it? Or would our plan be to secure it, since we may not have the means necessary to actually destroy a magical artifact of that strength and that prowess?
Yes, well,
because if we have to move to secure it, then we have to have forces there whom we can assign and essentially post to secure and defend for a long period of time. If we have the means to destroy it, then we don't have to leave those forces there. We can secure and destroy and then move those forces elsewhere.
This is the age of man. Such a device to rally dragons, in my opinion, should be destroyed. Should never be wielded for any cause, as meddling with dragons will only cause destruction for this world.
Does it only summon chromatic dragons?
Again, this is only legend. Ramilla says, I've only heard tales of such things. We don't know.
I mean, it could be a trap for metallics. It could be. I'm just curious. What do we? Nothing stopping it from being. Maybe we're not able to hear it, but maybe if it's on any dragon, then more than just chromatics can hear it. Then maybe some dragons that would be allies would be able to hear it as well. Maybe they'll go there to stop it. Maybe they'll know something's up. Just a thought. I don't disagree that we should destroy it. Just thinking of what's happening. Why are they doing this now, other than to gather power? I do have. I think the Dragonhorn should be our priority. But if we do that, Val, we left. All right, check my notes, guys. So give me a half second. We left the Sky Castle from.
We were up north towards the
Not-
spire of, or the spine of the world
No,
when
no,
we left it.
No. When we got on it.
Hmm.
We were at Fairness in Mountain Town.
Yep.
So we can show that on the map right now. And then we said that for the most part, it always felt like the Sky Castle was tracking in a single direction that was mostly east, a little bit north.
No, south.
A little bit, mostly east, a little bit south.
Yep.
I have it written down somewhere. I knew it was east. It says we are traveling east. I knew that there was. Then at one point you said that we were traveling one other direction too. So it had to be one of the other two, I guessed. But we're traveling east. Based off that, Val, can you and the Harpers or whomever else here, we have resources that our group normally don't have, other than a map and some string. But I mean, we can point to these are the towns of significance along that path normally. But that Sky Castle had a lot of resources and was intended for, it had one general of the cult on board, and they had uses for it. Obviously that's been disrupted now, but we should try to figure out where they're intended to go. If we could use the spies in our that we have, while we take care of the Drakenhorn, maybe we can be proactive in knowing our next steps rather than being reactive to where the next danger comes upon us.
Ramilla, yes, I see. We already have Verum surrounded by a few of our spies, and it seems like if we can maybe infiltrate a little bit further, we can gain more knowledge into this location in which the Horde of Gold was going to.
Is Vernon in one of the locations that we were tracking towards? Just so I'm making sure I'm connecting the dots where she's talking.
She hasn't mentioned any location yet.
Okay.
Other than the Sea of Moving Ice up in the north, that's the only thing that I have.
So if we have our spies, if you could buy us some time, we can work on getting some of that knowledge from Verum. And if you're successful defeating and destroying the Drakenhorn, it's possible that we won't be facing an army of dragon, and we can gain better ground in this fight by the time you get back.
Because there's a chance that where the Sky Castle is going would be maybe a convergence point where we can maybe catch multiple people at once.
And where was the Sky Castle going?
Val is pretty good with maps and tracking. He can probably point at least the plotting the course that we were going before we diverted the Sky Castle. So if we follow that original plot, we can probably find points of interest that it would likely have been along. See if that comes up with anything that your spy network has already come across. Maybe narrow your search.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I guess if there's a map on the table,
talk up my brother while in the process.
If there's a map on the table, I'll walk over. And for this, Viva, I'm using my background as a Outlander and essentially my inability to get lost. And then I'll say, this is where I'll point to Parnast and say, this is where we started, and this was the direction we were going. And I'll plot out roughly how, like, and then I'll say like around this area is where we diverted the direction, but I'll plot out a brief sketch of like this is where it could have been going, and then this is where it was going after we diverted it. And if you want me to make a roll for that, I will. But I don't have the specifics as a player. I don't have the specifics of where that was going and stuff on the map.
So yeah, if you take a line from where that is and go straight down to like the edge of the map, we can find with a little bit of variance what are any cities or points of interest along the way that these that the Sky Castle could have stopped. That would have been, and those would be places that we would want the.
I'll put you guys on a map. Help you out
Cool.
here.
I've been talking like hypothetically, but like I know how to like plot this in mostly theory. And once you do, because actually you do this with like projections for like profits and stuff. What you can do is you can plot like everything you've done before, and then after a certain point, there's like a variance on predictive modeling.
Okay, so this is where you guys originally started.
We can't see the map. I can't see the map. Do I need to pull myself out?
Can you scroll down? Or no, yeah, I guess you got. Let me make sure.
I move myself onto the map. I can see.
Give me a second, everybody. Let me turn off dynamic lighting.
Cool.
Okay, there we go.
So this is where you originally were, and you were headed. You guys are headed
East.
Let me draw
and
a
then some
line.
south.
At the time before doubling back and going all the way up here to the end of the world.
All right. I can't see either of the lines you probably just drew.
Why?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, now I can see it.
I can see now.
Oh, okay.
There's a delay for row 20.
Yeah.
Same
Well,
here.
no, I think it's when I switch off of whatever I'm, because I could draw invisible lines, I guess.
Yeah. So we can say.
And
Sorry. Go ahead.
and this is where they're asking you to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Sea of moving ice.
So we go to the Sea of Moving Ice and work on. We have to figure out in general how to. It's the furthest point away from where we are, or one of the furthest points away from where we are. So we'll have to figure out some mode of transportation just to bring that up for out of game talking about. But, here we know that there's essentially like a strong curve, like a strong line right here that we could say that we're plotting. So we would have been going east or southeast at this point, and we could still trace it. So we would give Ramilla I'm gonna draw a line, and David can confirm or deny.
I mean, I have no idea because the way that the map is drawn, like everything else over here doesn't exist.
Right, and I know like in the Greater Faerun one, there would be.
Yeah, so like I would just
But
say
say-
it just goes and just extend Viva's
Right.
initial line a little bit and just say that's what we projected would have gone. We don't know how far that way it was ever planning to go or anything, but that was the general direction. Yeah, basically that. And like we don't have any information based on the map we've been given thus far, the Sword Coast, of what else lies past that grayed out or that dotted out area.
Yeah, so basically those are the. So the purple line's like the main line. I don't know why there's two, but I guess I clicked on it by accident. The two pink lines are like a relative like variance that we would kind of like finger over with Ramilla, and we can make it a little bit wider if she feels like if there's nothing of interest in like this sandy area. But we would just say like if we're tracking down here, we could fan out like here or here and see if there's anything of interest. And if there's nothing of interest there, fan out a little bit further and further until we find some points of interest along this main purple line. And then maybe that will help the spies find something for tracking the Sky Castle in particular, which is different than Just saying, like, the Sky Castle could have been anywhere in the world, and all you know that it is that it ended up over here, which is totally different than where we were actually tracking it originally. That's my thought process on that. So if there's like cities like along this purple line or within the pink or within reason of the pink, those will be ones that we would want them to like send spies to, and hopefully that they find something that leads them to like the Dragon Cultist location. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
And this just so happens, again, and I didn't know this was going to actually happen, this just so happens to be the opposite of the direction that we're going to go for the Drakenhorn, which, again, begs the question of, is the Drakenhorn a distraction? Or, like, a two-part thing, like, partially a distraction if it gets stopped, or is it, like, the end game in their mind? So...
Well, if our plan is to go up to the Drakenhorn and we still don't have a definitive answer on whether or not we have the means to actually destroy it, we will have to secure and hold it. We'll need transportation to reach the Sea of Moving Ice. And unless we have means of transportation that do not abide by the common roads and whatnot, because we are, down along the coast currently. We will need to just go up the main roads. We can theoretically stop back by Phandalin and check in there on our way up the coast, up along the coast, up towards the Sea of Moving Ice, since we currently do not have any other option.
it depends on what our mode of transportation is. We don't have a Sky Castle anymore.
Yeah, that's...
I'm just saying, like, if we're walking, it's going to take us a year to fucking get there.
Then I'll address the council and say, is there any... If we are to go to the or to the Sea of Moving Ice, is there any type of transportation that you can provide to aid us in reaching this location quicker, or more safely than just by foot and cart and horse?
Yes, I have something for you all. Now, take a minute. I don't know what somebody is fucking.
I have no idea who this
I
is.
like that
Yeah, no
one.
idea. Who cares? Okay, so one of them speaks up. You
Just one of
recognize them as the Galt. Never remember. And I think with the speed that we need to make this journey, I suggest that we take an airship. That will probably send us, take about a week and a half journey. And although going by sea may be a bit faster, another one speaks up, and you recognize this one as Terran Hornblade. The sea will be a much smoother journey, and my ships are ready. We can leave. We can leave by tomorrow.
Airship.
But
Yeah, but it
There
won't
is-
be able to do anything. Sorry, with the airship, it won't be able to do anything once we get up there. We're gonna need a boat to break through the ice.
What?
Right?
What? Why would we need
I can
a boat?
assure you that, well,
Why would
we
you
can
need to break
land-
through the ice?
we can land you there. And hopefully we can starve off the frigid temperatures long enough for you to make it back to us. But
All right, who was the second person who offered the thing?
Terran Hornblade,
Okay, thank you.
I can assure you that my ships can break through the ice, and that will not be a problem. We can make it there in probably 3 days shorter time.
I vote airship. Less likely for pirates.
But my thing with the airship is that once we get to kind of the where we need to go, which is a sea of ice, it
Yes.
just I don't know.
You'll be flying
just
over
feels-
it. What's
Well,
your
yeah,
problem?
but like, what happens when you need to get off? Like, because you're not going to want to land the boat, 'cause the boat or the airship, because the airship's going to crack through the ice.
We have ways to get off of a boat pretty easily without
yeah,
you know, hurting ourselves.
They've thought of this stuff before. There's a way to dismount an
Okay.
airship. It's not like
We can use a rope ladder or anything like that to just climb down.
yeah, they can lower it pretty low without breaking everything. Or I think we'll be okay, right?
If need be, we already jumped out of a flying sky castle from a couple miles up, and we were
yeah,
fine.
to be fair, we've had far worse dismounts and we turned out okay. Like, I mean, I think as long as they're
Astrid,
not
I would
making us
like
walk the
I would like you to mark this down in things I warned them about.
Okay. Noted. Hey, when we all become pancakes, this will be the I told you so
But
moment.
we'll be fine. Getting back on the airship's gonna be a problem. Look,
Okay, so just to recount, Daggle offered an airship. It'll take about a week, but we would literally be able to get to wherever in the sea of moving ice because it flies above it. We'd be able to get anywhere in there we need to, but it'll take 3 days longer than by going. They'll take 3 days longer than by going by sea. However,
No, 3 days shorter by sea.
yeah, it's 3 days longer than going by sea.
his sentence
So
is
yes.
weird, but yes.
Going by sea will take 3 days shorter than airship, but we would get to the sea of moving ice. We would still be able to break through the ice on that ship. However, it would probably be more restrictive. We still have to worry about ocean currents. We have to worry about
Ocean
the state of the
fuels,
ocean
people on
and
the
ocean travel versus flying through the air generally isn't as
It's also not as cool.
dangerous.
Not as cool. It's an important factor.
Taryn folds his arms.
I didn't say
You're
that out
telling me.
loud. I was just saying it to like.
You're telling me you'd rather be in the air as we fight dragons that fly. Interesting.
In general,
Well,
yeah.
okay, so here's
Maybe.
here's
They
my
aren't as bright of warriors as we thought they were.
well, okay. Have you fought a dragon
Well,
that can
stuck on the
fly
ground.
away from you and out of range of your cannons and swords and spells, versus while being locked to the sea surface or the land surface? Or could you fight a dragon while in the air in its turf and it can't get away from you?
A dragon that can't get away from you in the air. As you're pinned to a single vessel in the air. With
Better than being
thousands-
pinned to the ground.
Interesting.
We have the ability to elevate to change our elevation to
I don't
match.
think
and
you're
stay
worthy
at
of the sea, to be honest, and not sure my crew would much like.
Well, we already made an enemy out of him. I guess we're doing airship, everybody. Like,
Do you say this out loud?
no. I'm talking about it out of game. Like, we can't make an opinion and then not offend somebody, apparently.
Just keep in mind, this was surely a I'm offering up my ship and my crew in order to help you.
We appreciate it.
As
So watch
is
before
the
you
other
insult.
lord.
Dude, I don't understand how
We
like us
we
picking
have
one
fought
is like
dragons in
offending
the past
somebody.
and had issues of being unable to reach our target because it can fly out of range.
I don't know why we're discussing it. Why can't we just pick one and then move on? Like, I'm more worried about pirates along the way. Like,
So you would rather fight a dragon than pirate?
you could still
We would
fight
likely
a
have to
pirate
fight
on...
both either way.
Yeah,
like
you're-
we
that's
one way or
true.
another, we're probably gonna have to fight a dragon.
Is a dragon not gonna see you in the water? Like, is like.
Hold on, I gotta write dragon pirate in my book.
You better talk like a pirate the whole
Write that
time
down.
too.
I mean, I wouldn't be
Args.
surprised if. Oh, wait, black dragons are semi-aquatic.
Yeah, so
they could 100% be a pirate.
So are dragon turtles. So
Oh yeah, dragon turtles.
There's a couple different options here.
Valen, chime in. What do you want to do?
What do your Final
We've-
Fantasy feelings tell you?
We've tried the skies before. But the idea of airship sounds very interesting. So I vote for airship.
All of a sudden, you feel this rumbling on your back as Darth peeks out from the hammer and just yells, "Boat!" and then just disappears.
What in the fuck?
You can't vote for Darth
What
when he's not
the
here.
fuck was that?
You can't do
You have to
that.
fight
You
bosses
can't
and shit, and then like,
do
nah,
it. You
Darth's
can't
not
have
here.
this.
And then it's
Yeah,
like,
you can't.
I'm gonna push you guys towards this boat.
Message
Boat.
Darth right now and see if he said, and just say boat or airship,
Alright.
and see which one he actually says.
Can I-
If the DM is that hellbent, I
No,
will
I'm
say
not.
we
I'm not.
go
I'm not.
on
I'm
a boat.
literally just fucking with you guys.
All right.
But before
it's safe to
before
say
we
he's
leave,
probably-
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's probably safe to say he's gonna try and murder us no matter what. So
Oh, 100%. No matter where we
I
go.
know. I know, right? So before we leave the console, I do like to have a word with.
Oh, we weren't ready to leave.
Mm-mm.
But go ahead.
You got. They're still
Yeah.
debating on boat or airship.
Oh no, this
We
I
have
think
how many
that's what I have
votes?
to
We have
wait,
one
'cause
vote
I
for
don't-
airship. We have 2 votes for airship. 3 votes for airship.
Emily can't raise her hand. She has to verbally say it.
oh, I'm 100% boat.
So I think it's 3 to. I think even with the fake Darth vote, it's 3-2.
Yeah.
So-
The fake Darth.
You guys turn to the Galt. Look, I'll be honest with you, Emma. I do want a little bit of. He's whispering this to you. I do want a little bit of credit for this when things come back around. So, if you need to pass by your old haunts on our way there, we'll do so. Just if we're successful, we'll make this a situation in which I provide a service and you provide one for me.
I think that sounds fairly agreeable. Thank you for.
If you can give me a
Your-
T-shirt that says airships on it, I will be down for it.
What was that?
Nothing. I was just making a dumb joke that doesn't work in this context. I just wanted the T-shirt that says airships. So I was like trying to like market their shit.
So we have an
Whatever
agreement.
branding you want me to do. I'll carry your logo around with me. For an
We have an
airship
agreement. Sorry, Terran. It seems as though your outdated ways, your rusty ships. You know, I'll tell you. Think about the future. And he just kind of like smugly walks past them.
Now all I can think about is like the classic line from Mass Effect is like, "My name's Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite airship on the Citadel." Like like whatever he would do, we're just like selling out wherever. In Mass Effect. That's all I want to do now.
Gotcha. All right. So you guys are headed to the Great White North on an airship.
We're gonna take a nap first.
The gold.
Before we leave the console, I do like to have a word with what's that character? Dylan.
Laura, the widow, the now
Winter-
widow.
No, Witherhound.
No, Winterhound.
Oh yeah.
The one that looks
Dylan.
very like Luke Evans.
Yeah, Deland
Mhm.
Winterhound.
All right, so I will roll in persuasion to see if I can successfully initiate a conversation.
Okay, and,
I-
and
I-
while,
I
you're,
just-
while you're
Yeah.
doing that, the Galt informs you all that you have 27 hours before their airship is loaded and ready to take off.
Hell yeah!
Well, like Terran under his breath says, "We could have been ready in 24." Some of them start to exit the room. And then go ahead, Valen.
So, I reached out to him and said, if I may have a moment of your time, Sir Dylan.
No need to be so formal with me.
I noticed, for the meeting that we just had, for now, you seem quite, silent for such critical matter. What do you think about this entire murder incident?
I'll tell you.
Wouldn't mm,
Those of us in the Emerald Enclave, we understand that there's a balance to the world. That there's good and bad. We enjoyed prosperity for some time. The fruits of our labors, we've grown fat off of the riches. It is only our comeuppance. It is only the world balancing itself once again that we are to be in jeopardy. Now, the tides are turning. I believe we don't need to be so weary as to assume that we are all going to come out of this fine. Be wary that we're all going to be defeated. We just need to right the balance. We need to make it kosher. You understand? So while everybody's thinking about their existence, about their lives and whether or not they may continue to see more days than this, I'm looking for those who want to ensure that there is a sunrise for more than just myself.
Interesting. So, to your opinion, the resources and the attention of the council shouldn't be focusing on or fixated on the dragon cultists. Rather, should be the prolonging of the balance in the world in terms of powers?
To some extent, what I'm trying to say is they're amassing something that's going to tip the scale way too far the other way. And I just, if it is true, if what they're trying to do is raise an army of dragons, then there may be no coming back from that. So I got to put my finger on the scale.
Well, judging from what you said, I'm glad that you're on our side, at least for now, to tip the balance a little bit to our favor. All right, thank you.
No problem.
And that's it, DM. Yeah, no, it's okay. His answer is good enough for me to rid of any suspicions I may have for him.
Before he walks away too far from the group and we leave, I go up to Valen and I go, "Are you gonna shoot your shot?"
Let's worry about the world coming to an end first before I find pleasures for myself. Let's go.
That'd be a great opening line for her.
No,
So it's
hey,
like, you know,
but I do no. But speaking as a character in game, to Darking saying that. Well, I am not, but however, I'm not saying that I'm not going to do it. Just not for the moment, because right now it will be
damn it.
highly inappropriate.
Literally,
she's got two other guys' shoulders to cry on right now, dude. You might by the time you get back.
Every ounce of my being to not call him sugar throughout that speech. Honestly, it did.
She's got two guys. She's already trying to move in on her. While
I think you're missing this one.
I don't know,
DW.
but Remilia was really hot too.
Remilia now does approach you and informs you your rooms are ready.
Hit your shot.
Your chambers are getting ready. And she looks at her
I'm just looking
comrade
at the wall again, like it's
Astrid, and asks if you would still like to see if you still like to see the crime scene.
That's up to Val, I think.
No, it'd be up to Astrid.
She's
'cause
asking
she-
Astrid.
Oh, Astrid, sorry.
Remember, I'm small potatoes. She's the big wig.
I would still like to go. I don't think we're gonna get much, but I still want to go.
Okay.
I'll go with.
But also, I just need to talk to her in general. So
I mean, if you want to talk to her, I can investigate the room. With
Well,
you. Like, I mean, we can all.
I guess
go.
it's Astrid, if you would like to pull her aside now and have that conversation, you guys can go up and rest, start your rest, or if you want to go straight to the room, straight to your room. You have 27 hours in this city.
Yeah. I think part of it, we should investigate the crime scene as soon as possible, just to make sure nothing else happens to changing or tampering with it. But then we have to take a rest, and then we need to stock up for our trip.
I just. How many, if we get there, how many charges of magic detection do you have left? You have maybe one left. You used at least 2.
me?
Nope, David.
Me.
Oh,
Because
In the meantime, Astrid, you could
out on
also be
everything.
telling me what you want to do.
I was just gonna tell her. I was just gonna report back to her because I mean she's.
Okay, so you want to pull her aside?
She needs
real
to
quick?
know all of this. Yeah.
Okay.
Varys dead. And I know that wasn't the original plan. But he ended up being a lot more dangerous than we originally thought. We knew he was a snake, but turns out he was doing a lot more than we thought.
My question, or at least I have this one question, because I know you have shown restraint, such immense restraint in the past. Should we place our faith in this group? They've done some things that have been beneficial to us, but they are certainly wild cards, and not but one could make a Harper.
You're right. They.
Are we placing our faith in the wrong?
Well, I think they are a bit unorthodox in their ways. They tend to generally have good intentions behind what they do. We both know that selfishness gets in the way of everyone at some point.
Yes, it is the crux. So I take it that you're going to go with them to the north.
It was not my original plan. And I worry
Why?
for what will happen when I leave.
Leave where?
Here. We've done so much work and we've infiltrated so many places, and what happens when I'm not here to do all that anymore?
Well, the Harpers have been here before you arrived on our doorsteps, and we have a long tradition of holding the peace in the Sword Coast. We will survive without you, but you've been sent here by the gods, and no doubt in my mind. If you feel that this is your next step to achieving your inner peace and your quest, well, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor and report back anything that you may find interesting about your new companions, as they're not necessarily upfront with me.
I could see that. They're not quite up front with me either. However, I do think that what we've been working on here is important. None of it will matter if we're all dead from dragons.
That is kind of where we're at with this.
And if you trust me to go with them, I will.
I'm putting my trust in you. If you trust that you can go with them.
Absolutely.
Okay. Please be safe.
As you. I'll walk away and walk back over to them and just put the items that we got on the table and walk out of the room.
You put it in front of them?
Mm-hmm. The rod and the chime and the
Gotcha.
yeah. And I guess the only other thing I need to talk to Amelia about is going to the crime scene.
Okay. Ramilia leads you out of the chamber to take you to the crime scene, which is just outside of the castle gates.
Did any of you guys
And-
want to go with me? Sorry,
I
I
mean,
forgot to ask.
I would go with you because I feel like
Yeah, I would also go just to make sure that nothing else happens and so that we can all investigate.
crime scenes are kind of my thing.
Do we want to? Well, okay.
You are pretty much walking around beaten, bloodied, bruised, and cut to
I know.
shit. You
Well,
have 4 HP right now. It's like that's kind of like the situation that
how she
you're walking
thinks,
around
though. That's not really how she thinks, though.
in. No, I'm
She's like,
that's fine. I'm just
bruises.
letting you know what you
I'm
should
very
be
much
walking
Bruises
around
for
as.
brunch.
Yeah, I'm very much aware of that.
But yeah, I will go
I
to
guess.
investigate the crime scene as well if we want to do that now, which is fine, and then take a rest afterwards because I think that's what we need to do.
I mean, worst case, I guess.
So I guess I put the rest of those items in the bag of holding as we walk out the door.
Yeah.
It-
I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
I was holding all of them, and they need to get distributed out, but I don't want to be in possession of them because I don't really have a good way to hold all of them. Is what it boils down to.
So what all do you put in the bag of holding, just so I know?
immovable rod, ring of the ram, and chime of opening. None of them should have any issue with the.
Not all of them.
Not everything, no, because DW took the bag of tricks. I have the bag of holding.
Terry said he wanted it, so I was.
Valen has the bag of tricks. I have the bag of holding, and then I put the rest of the items in the bag of holding. She has her armor, and then Liam has his cape.
Correct.
That is either yellow and or red and or some other undisclosed color.
Both.
But always smells like farts.
Brimstone.
Okay, you've been describing it as farts this entire time, so
All right,
you're
that
not.
last one was me, but generally the cave smells like brimstone.
I just teleported, guys.
So
You didn't see it. You didn't see it. I'm back.
It was just a little teleport, guys. It's just a little teleport.
we'll always know whenever Liam is around, and like even when he's invisible, we'll know when he's back because we'll just smell farts. You won't have to tell us he's back. It's just gonna smell like a fart, and we'll be like, he's here.
Or someone farted.
That's a joke now because now we just say, it's Liam being invisible.
Congrats, Em. You've now dedicated one night a week to this.
Oh yeah, I know. Please, I
To be
heard
fair, we made
the
it like 2
shenanigans
years
long
without-
before.
We made about 2 years without fart jokes in it, so it was only once we got this. Now we have the fart jokes.
Okay, so she leads. Valen, what are you doing?
I think I'll just take a long rest. Unless
so
unless there's something worse for me to take a look on the street. What do you think?
Well,
DM?
you have 27 hours. There's things that you could do whatever you want in this giant city.
I would recommend not splitting up this second again, Valen, because nothing good happens when you do that. So either go rest now, or you can come with us, and then we all rest when we all get back.
All right, I'll come with you guys then.
Just because nothing ever good happens when we do this. Split the party.
Oh,
and
chickens. All right, so Ramilla leads you across this giant courtyard through a gate, just right side of the castle wall. there's this building that kind of stretches up and has these 4 pillars on each side that are engraved with this like kind of marbled art that depict the founding of Watersdeep. And there's carvings across the doorway, etched into the doors themselves. It seems like most of this building is telling a story. As you guys enter, it's this kind of marbled floor in this huge open atrium, and then these sprawling staircases that lead from the left and the right up above the welcome desk. As you guys are in there, Ramila answers, there is some information that was kept out of the council, and I trust you all that there will be some discretion.
As I trust that you will keep the information that you have from us in under lock and key as well. And like, I'll pull out the Black Dragon mask so she knows about it at least.
I know.
I think everyone knows about that right now. I don't think you're very subtle about that earlier.
You're lucky they forgot. But yes, I will not spill your beans. She leads you up, and you guys go up several staircases to a room on the upper floor. And there's guards perched outside of the front. As you walk in, Ramila waves them away. The room is torn asunder. Immediately, you're greeted by just a horrific smell. It smells like Liam's cloak in here. Just awful.
This one wasn't me.
It's canon now. Leah smell.
It's just my cloak. This one wasn't me.
And across, you're greeted by a lot of sunlight too, as these giant window panes look out west across the city, higher than most of you're the highest point aside from the castle that's somewhere back behind you, and you look out. This floor also has this immaculate marble, and these posts are like gilded in gold. It dawns on you that you were told that this particular victim was not, I guess, was like opposed to pomp and circumstance, but judging by this room, that isn't the case. Let's get an investigation check from Astrid.
I said I also would be investigating, so can I also roll investigation?
The reason why I'm asking her is because she's the one that I'm gonna go there.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna ask her first. The room is immediately, aside from like this kind of fabulous, ornate structures and everything that in here, the place is a pigsty. There's bed sheets like thrown all about, clothes everywhere. There's just these giant like things of wine all around. Cups, plates full of foods, fruits and meats, cheeses. And you see 3 bodies dressed in these purple cloaks all around the room, laying on the floor. You see 2 more bodies lying in the bed. DW, if you're going to do an investigation check, you can do one there, but go ahead, Astrid.
I'm assuming the purple cloaks, I would know, are those the dragon cult, and I would know that?
Yes.
Okay. And all of the food and stuff looks like it was consumed during the night, or is it older, like he's just like a really gross person? Sorry, that's a mean way to say it. He's a very... he does not like to clean up after himself.
It seems as though a lot of this is brought up the day before.
Okay.
Almost like too much, and these are
Somebody's
foods that
in the
you
room with him.
these are this like gluttonous in a sense that for the sake of being gluttonous
Mm.
by the countless bottles of wine and plates of food. This was an occasion.
Okay.
Valen, you got something to say?
So it would look like he was with someone
Why do you think that?
before he. Well, because there's so many food. I mean, there's so many things, and I don't think it has been established that he was ever a glutton one.
DW picks up on the fact that I named 3 or 5 bodies in this room, and in the
Mhm.
council you were only told of 4.
3, 4.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question also.
Yeah. So we have the husband and then the 3 assassins. So
Who's the
Valen,
extra on the
Valen,
bed?
it looks like if you did shoot your shot, there's probably justification that you probably could have gone away with it. Because their marriage wasn't going anywhere. She wasn't mourning shit.
Well, I guess.
Was
Can
I was I reading that correctly? You could have
Yes, it
shoot
seems-
your shot.
Seems as though that he was found in this room with someone other than his wife.
He was also
As you
dead.
as you
Um,
recognize this like red-skinned female figure lying in the bed next to him
We
with these
recognize.
horns that kind of like curl back behind her head.
Wait, we've seen this person before,
just-
or
Well, can I ask do I know her?
Yep. No, you don't. Give me a insight check.
Would it be insight or history?
No. No. Perception. Give me a perception.
Okay.
The time you've spent in Waterdeep has brought you like a lot of knowledge about maybe the darker sides of things.
Mhm.
And there's an underbelly. There's certainly a scene, and you think you recognize this particular person as someone who you know works the higher end side of town
Okay.
or makes herself available to paying customers.
Okay.
Ramilla kind of speaks up. You understand why we need to have our discretion here.
Of course.
Although this may be a shock to you, these things are fairly common in people of such power. And that doesn't betray the hurt she's felt. Even though it may not have been a mystery to her. It is an act of war, regardless. So that's why we must treat this delicately.
I have a question. Can I make a investigation to check the 2 bodies on the bed to see if they look like, were they both assassinated on the bed? Did one of them put up a fight? Did it look like one did anything to the other. Like what is the state of those bodies essentially?
Yeah, go ahead and do an investigation.
Damn.
She looks like she died kind of peacefully. She's just kind of like still laying face down on her side, sleeping kind of peacefully. You don't see any blood. But him on the other hand it's a little brutal, as you just see this gash on his neck.
Okay, that's all I need to know for a 2 roll. Thank you.
Can I look around for a source of the smell?
It is 100% the dead bodies.
Oh, they smell sulfurous?
Well, it smelled like shit.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a difference.
It probably smells like dead bodies.
Well, there's a difference between what my cloak smells like and what dead bodies.
The group has not become accustomed to the smell of your cloak and the smell of dead bodies yet. It's still kind of like either or.
So I was concerned when we first walked in that they might have used some form of like teleportation to bounce into the room, and that would have left the same kind of sulfur.
Well, your 13 was a pretty low roll.
I was just going off of it and explaining my thought process, but
yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, your 13 is still kind of a low roll.
Yeah, I know. I rolled a 5, my +8, and I don't have luck, so.
I have 2 things that I want to check.
Okay.
And they're kind of different, so I don't know if I should roll for both or. So I want to check the glasses. I want to like smell both of those.
Okay.
And then I also want to check the window.
Okay, so the roll for the glass would be like a medical check.
Okay.
Because I think I know what you're have to do.
That was a good roll.
100%. There is, you smell this like kind of bitter, and as you put your nose to it, it's kind of like you just sneeze, like almost like kind of burns your eyes. They turn red, and you jerk your head away. There was something in one of the glasses.
Okay.
And then an investigation for the window.
Not as good.
No, you. It's
a window.
The window. Well, the only thing that draws your attention is the windows were open.
Okay.
But not much more you can tell from that.
Okay.
Can I try it?
What do you want to try specifically? Like
Just to investigate the window a little bit, because looking at the surrounding, I don't think I think the only way the assassin could have come in is through assuming there's no insiders within the castle itself. I mean, the assassinators the assassin can only come from outside. So I want to see if there's a thread of evidence that we can collect to indicate where those assassins might be coming from, even though knowing that they're dragon cultists. But then, I mean, any kind of belonging or any kind of residues on the window might give their origin away. So
okay.
Hold up.
No, I mean you had a 21 to roll,
sorry.
so
My bad.
as you step out, you see like one of the potted plants. You notice that had been shifted to the left, and you notice it because the ground underneath it is still kind of moist. Like there's still this like outline of water and dirt where it probably had sat for a while. And it seemed to have like been dragged in order to skew the view of one of the windows. You get the sense that they were probably out on this balcony for a bit of time, waiting for their moment to enter the room. Based on the fact that there was poison in a cup, you assume it's when they thought they had the opportunity to when the opportunity was when someone had drinking the poison. Unfortunately, only one person died from that, which may be reason why there was an altercation, a physical altercation.
Can I spend a little bit of time? I want to use because since you said we were in the last area for the heist overnight, and it's now in the morning. When it ticked over dawn, my wand would have regained charges, and I rolled for that earlier, and I rolled a 2. I'd like to use one of the charges of magic detection to look around the room with it, and then secondly, I want to investigate the cultists to see if there's any other identifying items like the armbands or the silver insignia of Tiamat.
Let's just do one. Let's do one first. Since you're going to use a spell, let's do that one.
Okay. Where is the thing? I have to find my item.
While he's doing that, can I ask him a question?
Uh-huh.
Did he entertain guests often? Or do you not know?
No, it's not really up for me to know such things. But I will say the times that he's frequent cities out of his domain that he did like the company. And if we knew it, he didn't hide it nearly as well as he should.
I'm standing behind Ramilla, just going.
As this detect magic kind of sweeps the room, one thing kind of like pops up and glows. One of the decanters on the carts.
Okay.
Seems.
I'll walk over and look at it, and then point this out to Astrid, who had found the previous location of poison, I guess, and say, does this match up?
I guess I'll take a look at it. And I guess also smell it for poison. So that would be an investigation?
Medicine.
Medicine for the poison, right.
Mm-hmm. You don't have that, like last time it was just this really strong smell. You're not getting it out.
Okay.
But you do recognize something familiar about it. This is similar to something that you in particular are familiar with.
Be freaking kidding me. Is it the same one? Or is it
No,
a different one?
The same one.
Okay. Okay. I know what this is.
Would you like to share with the class?
Nope.
No.
I know what this is. She just tucks it in her way.
No.
Bye.
It's what's the name? Basically, anything that you drink out of this is not gonna. It's the tankard of sobriety. That's the word. Basically, any alcoholic drink that you drink out of this makes you not intoxicated, is what it boils down to. But it doesn't work on poisons or anything. So I'd be curious to know why it's here.
Ramilla
Can I
speaks
tell-
up. Ramilla speaks up. What I do know is that although maybe his guests liked libations, it wasn't how he enjoyed his time, but he had to keep up appearances.
Hmm.
So what you're saying is maybe this is his way of not making his guests feel so bad about him not partaking in spirits.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
Alrighty. Well, if that's all that leads to, then I'd like to investigate the cultists just to check to make sure that they bear all of the signs and markings and paraphernalia of a true cultist. So I'm looking for the clearly they have the purple robes, but I'm looking for like if they have the armbands, if they carried any of the cultists' writings, if they carried any of like the.
Right? Can you do an investigation while you're?
Yeah, I will. I just wanted to voice what I was looking for specifically.
Right.
But I don't look very well, so.
But from all the run-ins you've had, you traveled on the road with them. There is no indication that these aren't cultists. They seem like kind of bare bone. Like they came in here with the express purpose of carrying out this assassination. In the pockets of two of them, you find these capsules of poisons, these little tiny glass things that you can only assume is the poison. What was described to you is that they like each like the one that has survivor bit down on a capsule, so you can assume that these other two that were in the pockets were the same thing, but there's no indication that they're faux cultists.
Gotcha. I just wanted to see if there's any indication that they may not be true cultists and they might be posing as cultists to take a hit at somebody kind of deal. But
at 11, this is
with my 11, I'm not going to actually know that. I just wanted to thank you. Then I don't think we're going to find anything else in here, honestly. It looks like the cultists attacked him. Do we know why? No, but like, are we going to spend our time investigating this and looking through this, or do we need to just prepare and move forward to the next battle, which we have a clear goal for? Because unless we find anything else in here that leads us to a specific in a specific direction, I don't know how much.
Ramilla kind of peeps up and says, I don't think you found anything more or less than what we discovered.
Exactly. So
is there
do
a
we
desk?
need to?
Is there a what?
A desk.
A desk? Yeah, there's like a couple desks.
Like one
they
that
don't-
like it was obviously like he did, if he was some sort of semblance of an official, like he had papers and stuff.
Do an investigation.
Mhm.
There are several desks,
desk.
and on like some of them just have like pads of paper and some like feather quills and stuff. Nothing's written on them. One of them you find like it has like love letters to other people maybe in the city, but nothing of interest.
Okay.
He seems like a bit of a gigolo, like a little bit of a player. Ramilla's kind of like, I think we have everything we need in here. You certainly made, from everything I gather there, this was an assassination attempt in order to make a statement to the council and to those powerful in the Sword Coast that the end is near. An act of war, and nothing but.
Yeah.
Still strange.
Out of all the people, pick. Maybe he was just the easiest.
Yeah, but also like, why now? Why start a war rather than just attack decisively when you know
I
you can
think
win?
the coordination between this assassination and the Drakenhorn was not. It was not coincidence.
I don't disagree.
It was. It was a sign that they're here. They're in Waterdeep, and they can get to any one of us. And the Drakenhorn sounding throughout the land is a greater symbol that they're out there in the world, amassing a giant army. This is an attempt to shake all of us to our core. They can get us in our sleep. They know about our movements. They know about our habits. They know about our sins. And they're going to exploit them. Now, do I think there's anything remarkable about this one? Other than the fact that it is a very, very high name level killing. It is meant to bring attention to what is happening.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right. See you all back in a little bit.
Yep.
Yep.